This is a video review of DX Bison King from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger. And just up front, whether this toy is good or not kind of depends on how much of a purist you are for show accuracy. So if show accuracy is paramount to you and you just never deviate from the instructions at all, then this guy's kinda stupid. But if you're willing to take show accuracy and kick it to the curb, if you're willing to do the impossible, see the invisible, think the unthinkable, break the unbreakable, you can actually turn this guy into a pretty decent toy by himself, and a pretty good combiner partner for Shurikenjin here, whose arms just came off. So let me put those back on. To start off with this review, we have Rodeomaru here, who's kind of like a Shinobi Maru, how he's just kind of a dude with really stiff-looking arms that can sit down. And this guy's a bit special because he has a head that can look up, and that's because he ends up riding the Bison buggy back there. He can also rotate his arms around like that, but they go from straight to not 45 degrees and not straight up, but to some kind of weirdish angle, and that's so he can ride that. So let's see how he looks if you put him into DX Shurikenjin. Take out Shinobi Maru, and just a heads up. It's almost impossible. It's pretty easy to get this arm to hold the little controls here, but it's almost impossible to get this arm to hold it because there's this little tab right here that activates the Bison King sounds when you put the little Shuriken head on top of him, and that bumps into the top of this section here, so you can't move the arm up and down to get the controls into his hand. So there's no reason to even try. So there he is in the suit. We'll put this down. And it doesn't look terrible. I like how his increased shoulder mass kind of fills out the chest a bit more than what Shinobi Maru can do. But he still just kind of looks bare and unprotected. I do like this nice baby blue, though. It does add some nice colorfulness to the Shurikenjin design. So, and take this off, leave it off for when we start combining this guy with Bison King to get King Shurikenjin. We'll put this guy back in, and we'll get to the Bison buggy. So this is the Bison buggy. It's big, it is chunky, it's got a pretty decent build quality, and it is obviously just a robot hanging out on its belly, and that kind of sucks. Now, what is kind of cool is if you point his head up like this so we can see, bring his arms up like this, and bring his legs down a click, and bend his knees one click, then you can take these tabs here and put them onto these clips here and here. And he can ride the Bison buggy, and it rolls pretty well, although the texture on the wheels here kind of makes a clicky sound whenever you push him around. And I don't know what I feel about this thing. I mean, like, it's obviously a robot hanging out on its belly, and I hate that because his transformation is way too simple. But just not even thinking about that, the Bison buggy is... From some angles, it looks fine. From other angles, it's kind of ugly. One thing that kind of bothers me, and I don't know if a real ATV would be like this at all or not. Like, maybe this is just how ATVs are, but the rear wheels here are kind of narrow, whereas the front wheels here are kind of wide, and it kind of bugs me that they're not just out at the same level, because I don't know, maybe it seems like it would make it more able to twist over like that and turn over or something. I don't know. It just looks kind of weird. And then I also wish the bull's head kind of came out a little bit more so it were a more prominent feature in this mode. But I get why, for practical reasons, an ATV wouldn't want that. Because you don't want the front of the vehicle to catch the ground, you want the wheels to catch the ground, which is what this thing would do. So, it's okay, it's just not really my cup of tea. Now, to transform this guy is pretty simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the little Shuriken piece here, and I'll show you the sounds. It has some pretty nice guitar riffs, so... And this da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da sound will go for a really, really long time until you press the button up here, and then you get... Excuse me. So put this off to the side. we'll grab the exhaust pipe here, and this will end up being his gun. We'll put it off to the side. And then this is a part that I really hate about the transformation. This entire upper section here comes off. And also, a bit of note, it clips in 3 places. There's a clip here, and tabs here and here, so there's a tab here, and clips here and here, but it doesn't clip on very well. So like if you're just carrying this guy around, the natural way to hold him would be by the would just be by this section here, because it makes it a natural handle. Don't do that, because what will happen is it will just come undone. This will crash into the ground and explode into a million pieces, because this is the this guy splits into a bunch of armor pieces for King Shurikenjin. But anyway, you take this off, and I really wish it stayed on better, and I also wish that it just kind of hinged up into place here, rather than coming off and then plugging into place, because like, if this had to come off and be its own piece for King Shurikenjin, I would kind of get that. But it doesn't. It just stays in the DX Bison King position up here. So we'll click it down up there. We'll take the chest piece, we'll fold it down. And then the instructions, they don't even mention what to do with this stuff down here. So I'll just fold this down, fold this up, and fold that up like that. And that will kind of compact that a little bit, although he still has a bit of a butt flap back here. Then you'll come to the front, you'll take the arms here and you'll pull them out, and the arms are kind of hooked onto his thighs here. Like it's not a strong connection or anything, but there's a little excuse me, but there's a little gap right here, a little hook on the underside of his hand, and it kind of guides into place. But like, if that weren't there, this would be the obvious place to put the arms anyway. So you pull the arms out, then you take the legs, you split them apart, then you take these little pieces here, fold them down, up into place, pull them down, up into place, and then here you have the main body of Bison King. And we'll take his little exhaust thing here and put it into his hand as his gun. And then we'll take this piece here, fold it out, and then we'll clip it right on top of Rodeomaru. Yeah! And this is Bison King, and he looks kind of neat. He kind of looks like a cross between Cowboy Curtis and Elton John. And like, especially because he has these really fabulous glasses on his face here, and they're the same kind of glasses that Simon wore at the climax of Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, the really advanced looking Kamina shades, and that's why I made the Gurren Lagann reference earlier. So anyway, there's his head, and for the most part I like the way this guy looks. But I hate this very drab brown color, because it's just so bland, and it just sucks up all the light, and it's just kind of an ugly poo color. So, I mentioned that if you're willing to just throw away show accuracy, you can make this guy really awesome. So this is the first place where we're going to do that. We're going to pull off the bull's head here, we're going to straighten it out, and there are little clips on the inside here and here, and we're going to use those to attach this to the top of his hat. And this kind of sucks, because it gives him this big pimple-like thing on the top of his forehead, kind of like that thing that, what's-his-name had in Fully Cooley. But anyway, you'll do that, and it kind of sucks, but what it allows you to do with the rest of the robot mode, I think makes up for it. So then you'll take his chest piece here, you'll rotate it up, and then I think this is a much, much better looking robot mode. It kind of looks like a fine southern gentleman who is wearing a nice suit and a bolo tie. And I really like the way it looks. It really brightens up the figure with all this more white color and stuff. It exposes a lot of detail on his abdomen and his thighs, and it brightens up the figure so much. And I think this is a more cohesive chest, because before when this thing was down, it's just kind of gappy up there, and then the horns of the bull's head just tries to cover it up, and I don't think it works very well. So this is my preferred DX Bison King robot mode. And yes, this is the faceplate that's used for King Shurikenjin. But don't worry, because we're not just going to make King Shurikenjin then just use his head again. I'll show you the official King Shurikenjin transformation, but then I'll show you what I like to do. So Like this, I think this is a much better robot mode for several reasons. One, it just looks better, but also, the official transformation for the Bison King is like the most obvious way to take the Bison buggy and turn it into robot mode. This makes him look a little bit more unexpected, and I like it. It's just it just looks like a more refined robot mode, and I am surprised that this wasn't what they went with, because this looks so good. Like, it just looks better than the original. So anyway, now we need to get ready for King Shurikenjin. So we'll take Shurikenjin here, and we're going to just pop off a ton of parts to get him ready. So we'll pop the Rodeomaru arm off. We'll pop these off, put them off to the side. We'll pop off the Dump Maru hand. We'll take the sword, pop it off to the side, and this is all we need to do to get Shurikenjin ready. So we'll put it down here, off to the side, and now we need to take apart Bison King. So we'll take this off. We'll take this off. We'll pop off the arms, and something kind of interesting about the arms, the joints right here, the little port for the little plugs right here to put the arms on, those are the fists. So we'll pop the fists out, pop it down, put it off to the side, pop off his gun, pop out the fist, put it off to the side. Then we'll pop off this top section here, and we can just leave this section by itself, so we'll put it off to the side. We'll pop off this back section, and then we'll take the feet, we'll pull them out, fold those back in, straighten out the legs, pull them apart, and fold this in, and then we're just about ready to go. So I've got a ton of parts down here. We're all going to make them work. So we're going to start with Shurikenjin. There are these little clips on the bottom of his feet that will go onto these, and I really hate this because these platform shoes extensions, they don't look very good. They're just excuse me, they're just extra parts that there wasn't an obvious thing to do with them, and it's just ugly. Like, this isn't how you should make platform extension shoes. Let me get Cosmos Saver from Space Deleter, and let me show you what he did for platform shoes. This is how you do platform shoes. They need to actually look like feet. They need to hide the original feet. Like, the original feet are right here. They just look like they're part of the ankle mechanism. And they're not just there to make him taller. They're there to look good. This is how Sentai platform shoes should always be done. And it kind of pisses me off that King Shurikenjin, it's just a way to use extra parts that happens to make him taller, and it just kind of sucks. I'm not a fan of it. Now, moving up, we'll take this piece here, and we're going to use these tabs inside here to clip it onto the same places where we put the shuriken stuff, or the shuriken head. So we'll put this up top here. Raise up your platform. We'll come to the back, and we'll take this piece here. And this will make sure that his legs don't just come apart while splay out to the side and do the splits while he's in his robot mode, because this guy does get kind of massive. So we'll plug that onto the back. That'll keep his legs nice and stable. They're going to take the Dump Maru hand and this hand right here, and then there's a little post right here that he's going to hold on to. So he holds on to his own hands, and then we'll plug this onto his shoulder, like that. Do the same thing with Rodeomaru in the other fist. And one thing to note, if you really want to use Shinobi Maru as a hand for this combination, you want to give him one of these fists, it doesn't work. The sides of his feet, the sides of his knees here, don't let you push this all the way down. Like, you can only get like that much of the handle into his hand, so that kind of sucks. It's just the inconsistency that bothers me. Then you put this onto the side. Then you will take the gun here. You will put this in like here. And then you'll put the wings on to the side, like that. And you get this really awesome looking weapon. Put it into his hand. Then you take the Shurikenjin head, you put it on. You put this on top like we did with the altered Bison King transformation. And then you put this on top. And those are the King Shurikenjin sounds. And then you take this plate, fold it up, and except I'm not using the right Shuriken here. You're really supposed to use the red one, but screw the red Shuriken. This is King Shurikenjin, and no, this just looks dumb. Like, it's not as bad because now he does have a chest that looks armored, but he still looks really bare in the belly. Like, he looks like he's pregnant with Shinobi Maru. And then look at that hat. That hat is about 3 inches tall, is way too big, and it's ugly, and you still get that pimple type thing that just, no, I don't like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it, just like we did with the Bison King. So to do this, we'll pop this off, we'll pop this off, we'll pop this off, like this, and you can do whatever you want with this. You can either throw it off to the side. You can plug it on top here like that, which I do on occasion because I like how it changes the silhouette. But then you can also pop it off and plug it down here. And that, it gives them a bit of a butt, but it keeps it out of the way. And then what I like to do is you come here, you put the bull's head back on, or the bison head. You put it back on like that, you fold this piece back, and then you fold it down like this, and then, yeah, you fold it down like that, and it'll kind of hook over the fist that's in Shinobi Maru's lap, so it just kind of clips over it, and then you come to the front, and then you put the original Bison King head on. And I like this combination so much more because it still has all the extra mass that the original King Shurikenjin had, except it doesn't have that huge hat on it, and now his chest just looks super armored. And what I really like about this is that it doesn't really throw away the piloted aesthetic of the line, because Shinobi Maru is still in there. It's just now he's not sitting in an open chair, he's sitting in a he's actually sitting inside the robot, inside a bunch of armor. Like, you can even pretend that this little plate right here is like an extra control pad for him. And so, because it adds something to the piloted mech aspect of the line, because it gets rid of that really stupid looking hat, and because I already used the King Shurikenjin head for Bison King, like that's just how I normally use Bison King, we still get an original looking robot mode that it looks pretty good. Like, you still have this poopy brown here that I'm not a big fan of, but it's better than the alternative, which is that really big stupid looking hat. The only other thing that I really do to this mode to make it better, I think, is I like how big this sword is, but it's a bit too heavy for the ratchet. It's a bit too heavy and a bit too long and a bit too far out, so it just gets a lot of leverage on the ratchet. So what I like to do, I pull this out, just give him a normal sword, pop these out, give him a normal gun, and then I pop these back together to give him his shield, but you can't put it on normally. You have to turn it upside down because this will bump into the tip. And this is the King Shurikenjin that I like. This is how I display this combination. He's not the best. Like, his proportions are kind of lanky. He still looks kind of weird, getting the really stupid boat shoes down here. But it's better than what was the official... It's better than the official design for this guy. In fact, it's so much better that it feels like this is what was intended for it. Like, for Bison King, feels like that was the intended robot mode. And for King Shurikenjin, that this is the intended robot mode. Like, it's not what was intended, but that just makes it even more spectacular because these are two of the best accidental robot modes I have ever seen. And so, if you're willing to change a combination like this, then this guy's actually pretty cool. Because, like, accidentally good is still good, basically. So anyway, I review Power Rangers, Transformers, Digimon, lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.